Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us here on the Pondcast, episode 52. No special guest tonight, but we've got Anthony, as always, and our trusty media guy, Kevin, who will be manning the chat, as well as tossing in some ideas here. Thank you for joining us on this Monday in April. We are super excited to be here, as always. And Anthony has something special he wants to talk about to get us started.
So, hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the country you're in. I wanted to make an announcement. Where better than here on the podcast, where we have made so many important announcements over the years. But as you see, I'm sitting in what was my turtle room. It is now a playroom for kids. And I wanted to announce that I will be leaving the turtle room and no longer working with turtles. Moving on to some new adventure. I'm just kidding. April Fools. I'm just kidding. I can't do it to you guys.
You noticed I turned my camera off so they couldn't see me smirking.
Terrific. Terrific. I didn't even do a good job. Oh, geez.
I think you gave up too soon.
I did. But I thought, why keep going with it and make it corny? It's already corny. Let's just bail out now.
I think
I mean?
I think you should have just said it and then let it go at the end of the episode. Been like, oh, by the way, that was a joke.
But I did feel like I had to say something. You see this behind me. This is not my turtle room, folks. This is not my turtle room. It's sad. It's sad and not in a good way.
I'm surprised at how fast you filled it up with non-turtle stuff.
I worked hard, so including getting carpet installed, painting all the walls and the heaters that were rusty from water.
Well, I think the
all
first
that
thing we need to talk about is why your basement is now a kid's room.
Yeah, exactly. And you can hear my daughters knocking on the door right now, not understanding that they're not supposed to be down in their new playroom right now, that they're very excited about. They like the turtles, but they're much more excited to have this be a playroom. So, the reason being that I am trying to move. And let me tell you something. If you haven't experienced this before, moving as a turtle person is the type of stuff that nightmares are made of. And I know that, Steve, you moved recently. Now, you don't have a huge collection, but still,
it's
tough to navigate.
Tripled since I moved. So
Right, which is great, which is the reason why you move. But Kevin, you're looking at moving, and several of our partners have moved in the past 5 years. Hearing all the difficult stories, the horror stories about how that goes, is not something that made this fun for me. But turning a 600-700 square foot turtle space into what you see now, a playroom, is not something that I was very excited to do. But here we are. Almost there. So once I can get this thing sold, maybe move into a bigger house with more space and perhaps even a separate building to keep the turtles in. So that's the goal anyway. But if you're wondering why I'm sitting here and there's pink sofas around and the kids are knocking down the door like it's a zombie movie to try to get in, is because they want their playroom, and now it's a playroom. So in case anyone's wondering, that's what's going on down here.
yeah, I mean, moving even with 20 animals, work. Like moving with 100 animals, whoo!
Yeah.
Like moving is not terribly fun or exciting with the animals. Like at least the process of it. It is, you're rushing habitats back up so you can get them back into somewhat comfortable. They're typically out of whack for several months. They might miss a normal laying season. Like production tends to drop a little bit. Everybody's getting resituated. And to try to tear down habitats, move them, put them back up as quick as possible while doing all the other stuff. Just it's a lot of work, and doesn't lead to immediate returns.
Right. So now, when you were selling your house, did you have to show your house with your animals in it?
We did, but most of my tanks have been like a show type quality, especially since they were all in the living area of the house. I kept them all looking pretty clean and neat and attractive as a whole. So they weren't like a turn off to anybody. As far as we're aware anyway, nobody commented commented on those things when they, left feedback after an open house or whatever. So
Right. Interesting. I wonder about that. I feel like any one of us, even the most calculated of us, we'll look like animal hoarders if somebody walks through and sees the amount of 20 turtles is a lot of animals for somebody.
Right. I suspect it didn't look like that to just the casual observer, because half of them would hide in a bush somewhere in the tank anyway. So you could look in there and go, "Oh, I see some fish, and oh, there's a turtle." But
Right.
like half the other turtles would be like hiding in this one bush together, so you can't see them.
Right.
I mean, the same thing that was in one of those aquariums is now in the stock tank that has 6 or 7 female yellow blotched in it. And like you go look in the stock tank and you're like, oh, there's fish. Where the heck are the turtles? And they're all just like piled into that one, like maybe 1 foot cube kind of area. Maybe probably even less than it, probably half cubic foot worth of space where they're jammed in that bush hiding from crap.
Right. I would say that all the time. Like if people looked in my little basement windows or actually came down, it almost looks like I'm more of a tropical plant breeder because of all the terrestrial species have, especially like the spangler eye, that don't trample and kill the plants.
Totally.
There's so many plants in there that you can't even see a turtle. There's just bin after bin with live plants. So yeah, I kind of had the same thought with those anyway. But seriously, nobody wanted to buy a house for me with all of my animals because they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, how much mold is in this place? Oh my gosh, there's no way I'm moving in here if this person decides to live with 120 turtles, or who knows what the heck's going on in their place,
Yeah.
So I could just hear it. So I have a few left over. They're in a different room in the basement, kind of hidden off to the side behind like some storage stuff. But even still,
that almost looks worse. Like if they check and they see that.
Yeah, because now they're trying to. I'm trying to hide it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why is there some bin of turtles stuck in a dark room?
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to come over and help me stage it, Kev, since you have so many opinions.
That was one opinion. That was one opinion.
That was one too many. I'm stressed. Okay, can you please help me out here? Be a friend.
I'm trying, man.
Kev, I am so mean to you on these podcasts. It's
I know,
crazy.
it's weird.
You haven't said a word. You haven't said a word, and the first thing you say, I give you a hard time.
I know. I don't know why. It's just because I bully you in person doesn't mean you can bully me online.
It's true. I'm nice to you in person, though. I am. I appreciate Kevin. So everyone knows Kevin is a great dude.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully nobody was saying I was not a great dude prior to that, but thank you.
What's happening right now?
I don't think my name's like come up when they're like, who's that sketchy turtle guy?
I definitely don't put your name on that one, Kevin. That's for sure.
Thank you.
And now I'm just wondering what happened to Anthony here, but apparently
I'm here. My wife just decided to come down the stairs that are on my shot with no pants on. So everyone just missed a really interesting happening. You near miss.
Hi, Shannon.
Listen. This is a turtle show, but nobody expected to see that kind of cooter on the show. Okay. I'm just saying. Anyone? Turtle jokes?
Man. I think she might murder you for that one.
She's listening right now. She's probably super embarrassed. First, I saw the door open and the dogs ran down. I thought maybe one of my kids was getting put down here on timeout.
Yeah.
No, she was coming down here with no pants on.
Well, I'm gonna make
just a moment. Just a moment, so I can. I'm just gonna turn off the camera again. Okay, this is a family show. And there are people watching who don't want to see that type of cooter. All set, dear? You okay? Okay. We're not all set. Just so if anyone's wondering. Just an update. She's still down here. I am super uncomfortable and embarrassed and nervous. Are you ready? You going up? Okay. Hold on. She's going up. Okay. All right. You can see your whole backside right now. Leaving nothing to the imagination. That just happened. You're going to have to take my word for it because you didn't see it, but it just happened.
That was not an April Fool's joke, folks.
That was not an April Fool's joke. When people could see her coming down at the beginning, and then I shut my camera off quickly because I thought it'd be embarrassing if people were coming down. And then good thing I did, because I turned around and she had no pants on. And she knows what I'm doing. Now I'm wondering if she's trying to do it on purpose, like half naked cleaning in front of the pool boy. But we don't have a pool, and therefore have no reason to have a pool boy. So maybe this is her. She's trying to see, she wants Kevin to see her. I don't know.
Definitely not that.
I don't know.
Definitely not me.
What are you trying to say about my wife? Not interested?
That she talks to my wife regularly.
Oh, okay, got it. Good. That was a really good answer. Oh my gosh! How did that happen?
I'm sure it's your fault somehow.
Anyway, we have a
when
very
isn't it, Kevin? When isn't it?
That's right. Don't forget it. We have a very fun activity planned tonight, and something that we're getting from a lot of viewership is that basically just answering questions, rapid fire, almost like a debate type thing. So we have something set up that we think that everyone will really enjoy. And basically it's 7 questions, but each question is multifaceted, and then there's 3 of us, so we can each answer the question with what we think, and then it can start into a debate, which I really enjoy. So the questions are best pet turtle, best conservation species, best herp related career, and of course, what do we know? Nothing. But it's a debate. So it's just like when you are checking out sports talk radio or First Take on ESPN or something like that, and Skip Bayless, who, as far as I know, has never been an athlete, will talk to you about athletics and sports and all that type of stuff. So it's just, we're not experts on anything necessarily. Maybe to the layman person, we're big time turtle experts, but we know that we don't know it all, and we are just going to give our opinions because everyone can have an opinion. So we hope that you enjoy it. We also have on here most impressive species based on several different categories, most beautiful species based on several different categories, and best tool to be used in turtle keeping or turtle hunting or whatever. Not hunting like to kill, but you know what I mean. Turtle catching. And or like field work. That's what I mean by turtle catching, and best turtle books, based on several different categories. So this is gonna be fun. So, what do you think, guys? You ready? Kev, you confident? You feeling it?
And by debate, we're not like we're gonna present these nice arguments. We're gonna. I mean, Anthony invoked Skip Bayless's name here.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
It's not really a debate. We're gonna hot take.
Hot take. Love it. Steve, thank you. Exactly. Hot takes. So we are, big surprise, we are relatively unorganized. We are going to just jump right into it. We don't have some great poetic, profound way to present our answers or back our arguments or whatever. These are just opinions based on, hey, someone comes up to us during a reptile show or after an educational talk or whatever and has this type of question. The answers we would give at those moments. That's basically what we're going to be giving right now. Okay. And just be ready for us to rip each other apart because this is going to get ugly. I'm just kidding. Kevin laughs. I'm sorry, Kevin. You're such a sweetheart.
I just know it's coming. Yeah.
It's coming for you. I
read the script.
You can't pass. That's for Kevin. Okay, Kev? You can't pass.
I mean, there's things that I'm probably not going to have a solid answer for at all.
You don't have to have a solid answer.
All right, you got
it. Just a thought. You can answer with a question mark, like Diamondback terrapin? Question mark.
I mean, I know what that animal is, so.
Yeah, right. You do know what that animal is. That's true.
I hope.
Yeah.
Steve, do you know what that animal is?
It's one of those plastic ones that they embed a cubic zirconia in the carapace, right?
Ooh. You sounded dumb until you said carapace.
That's what I was going for, but I like you said, I was faking it pretty good until I used the actual word for the back of a turtle shell.
Steve is so smart that he can't even sound dumb when he tries to. Okay. Perfect. Just as long as we're all starting out with that. Good. Okay. So, best pet turtle. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay, best pet. Very good. Go first. Okay. Best pet turtle based on price.
So you wanted me to just do...
Let's do price for now.
Just price?
Just based on price. Give
know-
give us your best pet turtle based on price. What do you think is the best value out there from a keeping standpoint?
Now, the one question is this like the average keeper? Is this just like keeper, or is this people across the world that want a turtle?
Doesn't matter. You pick. It's a hot take.
Yeah.
All right.
It's your interpretation of the question.
Why did you want to go first?
I had one animal that categorized all three of the things.
Oh, yeah, we're not doing that. I love that you answered these questions already, though. I don't even know what my answer is. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, best pet turtle based on price. Prices fluctuate a lot, but within the last year or two, I'd say those reef turtles that you have, it's a great value. They don't get gigantic. We're not gonna move forward, but a good price for an animal that's a very nice animal.
So Reeves turtle in general, or the Reeves turtles that I have, or Japanese Reeves
You have
turtle?
the Japanese. They get a little bit larger.
They're more expensive though, but
Yeah.
you think they're a good value? I think they're
Yeah.
terrific. Gosh. So they're Reeves turtles, but they're larger. They're black in color. It's a locale, but they actually aren't naturally occurring in Japan. They were introduced there, which is really cool. Yeah, I think they're a good value too.
So they were introduced there. They were introduced there, and then they took on that name, or they just not really a name. It's just a locality.
Well, yeah, it's not. It's just Japanese reef. So that locale just looks different. The way that red foot tortoises from different locales look different. Sure. But they were introduced there. I don't know how long ago, Steve. 1,000 years ago, 400 years ago, somewhere in between. I've heard both accounts.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in between. I think my friend Jeff Lovich. It's fun saying my friend Jeff Lovich.
That's pretty cool, right?
Right. He's such a great guy. I think Jeff's been involved with the paper on some of that. I think he has this colleague in Japan he's been doing a few things with lately. But yeah, I think it's somewhere in that half to whole millennia kind of time range.
I love this. See, we're getting down rabbit holes already, and that's exactly what I want to do. Those rabbit holes, that's where the fun is.
Where I bust out words like millennia.
Yes, and phrases like my friend Jeff Lovich. Which, if I met him, would he say my friend Steve Enders?
I think so.
Okay, good. Then I feel good about it. I'm okay with it then. Okay. Steve, do you have an answer for that? Best pet turtle based on price?
I'm gonna go with this one. I bought it at the Outer Banks for $2.
That's a great answer.
That
was not $2. That was not $2 at the Outer Banks.
I'm gonna do what Kevin was going to do. It's also really tiny, and it doesn't need any food, so it's really easy to keep.
Right. We're talking about price, cost. Yeah, it's keeping the cost down. Doesn't need lights.
Right.
You can keep that thing in the dark, and it won't die. That's terrific.
I only went that direction because I really don't know what I'd pick.
That's okay.
Otherwise.
I've
gotten so many turtles for free and for good values that my perception of what a good value is probably skewed.
So maybe base it on that you never had that stuff given to you when you first started.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to think about. And
you know what though? I like the idea of interpreting this, however, and if you have a silly way to answer the question, I'll allow it. I think it's terrific.
Another one that I might go with is one of the more common map turtle species. They're not very expensive. They tend to be attractive, especially for even as adults, especially if you have a male. I'm really loving that Lake Hamilton locale Wachita map turtle that I've got now, and talk about really nice head pattern that's going to catch somebody's attention, and they're not super expensive or anything. So
cool. I like that. I would say, and really ask me this seven times in a week, and I'll give you 8 different answers. Yeah, exactly. Seriously. But I'd say probably Southern Painted Turtle.
Ooh, that's another good one.
I like that one. And the reason I would say Southern Painted Turtle as opposed to just blanket Painted Turtle, I mean, I just think we're talking about best pet turtle, so I mean it's tough to not take everything into account and just say based solely on price. So there's a lot of turtles that interchangeably could be $10 to $20 depending on what show you're at and what's available. So that's one of them. And It's small as well and does and would do well in captivity and, you know, as a pet, as opposed to some of the painted turtles that get larger. And that was the next question, is based on size. Best pet turtle based on size. Do we want to go back around? So I think southern painted turtle based on size is good too, but I'll give you another answer afterwards after we go back around. Kev, are you up? Best pet turtle based on size. What do you got?
I like male diamondback terrapins. They don't get
Of
to
course,
be more than.
that's you can't keep going back to the diamondback terrapins. Well, you used it up now.
It's my first one.
I know. I'm just saying it's
total.
early in the game.
2 in total.
2?
2 in total.
What? You just put up 3. I don't understand. What happened?
No, 2.
Rewind that back. Everyone, rewind the podcast back to see my wife half naked and to see Kevin do 3 and say 2. 2 in total. 2 in total. Hold on. 2 in
You're really
total.
just trying to get extra views for people going back to try to find
Yes.
you.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends. We'll be on CNN tomorrow. Risque Turtle podcast shows more than just cooters. Okay.
No, actually, I think I won't use that answer then.
No, use it. You already said it. Stick by it. Just don't use it again.
No,
there it is. There's the 3. You just did it again. What are you holding in your hand? That's why you did 3.
Maybe that's why I did it. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like a wire cable management thing.
Oh, terrific.
It fell off my desk, so I was just playing with it.
That's one thing no one will ever say about you. That guy
Fell off
always
my
knows
desk.
how to manage his wires.
Yeah.
Always.
It's the one thing I got going for me, you know?
That's the one thing he'll never let get out of control. Okay.
All right.
Diamondbacks.
So change my answer real quick. I don't know if it's a locality issue, but there is ornate box turtles that very, very small, full size, you know, like just at 4 inches. Really cool. Everyone that I've come across has been way feistier than all the other ones. Just really neat animal.
Awesome.
And very easy to keep based on the size.
Love it. Great answer. Steven, with a PH.
I'm going to steal one from one of our viewers here. How about the 3-striped mud turtle?
Oh, I love them.
Props go out to our good friend Angela, whose name you're going to see appear on an article or 2 on our website.
Love it. Nice job, Angela. I'm loving it.
Thanks for that. I'm going to credit you with an assist for that one, Angela. All right.
Great species. Yeah.
All right. She got the assist. I took the layup. It's all good.
I have one just in the other room that I hatched this year that is it's growing like crazy, and it's still the size of my thumbnail.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And they're really cool little turtles. Fun to watch bounce around the tank, you know.
If anyone's thinking of keeping them, though, males can be really aggressive and really bite up some marginals. So a lot of times when you buy captive animals, you'll see the marginals on the females are just torn to shreds. The rear marginals.
Yeah.
Oh, so based on size, do I have to come up with a different one? Do you have something else to say, Steve?
No, I'm good.
Based just on size, I'll say spotted turtles. Spotted turtles are really great. That's a favorite. It's a small turtle. It's a manageable turtle. They can be kept in groups if you have them in thoughtful keeping arrangements. Big problem with them. Don't get them, or you shouldn't have them in certain states where they naturally occur and are protected, including our state. Our states.
Our headquarters state.
Yes, right.
I want to propose a secondary part to that question. You want a larger show animal.
Yeah. What's the best large show animal?
Yeah, but like manageable still.
Okay, I got your answer. Alligator snapping turtle, all day long. Easier to keep than a common snapping turtle that's a 1/5 or even a 1/10 of the size.
Okay.
Because they move around less, they make less of a mess. They don't usually tear apart their food the way a common snapping turtle does. And they can be kept, for their size, they can be kept in relatively small spaces. Normally in the wild, they'll kind of stay under those overhangs on the overbank where there's kind of like a cutout underneath, where we sometimes find wood turtles in the Northeast. Yeah, all day long. I almost consider getting one as a show animal for my educational stuff, but you can keep a lot of small animals and breeding projects in the space that you would keep one of those bad boys.
Yeah, very big.
Did you have something in mind?
Yeah. I was thinking one of the Badiger species. Is it
Borneensis?
Borneensis
Pretty much
with
the only one that anyone can afford.
it's the one with the face changes color their
Yeah.
mating season.
Oh,
Yeah,
most of them change. That one
Yeah.
just changes a little more.
like red and blue.
Yeah, that was a little. But all of the Batigers change some head. The males will change head color.
They
Okay.
call them watermelon turtles in Asia. The Badiger borneensis. Steve, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure.
The males get that the gray shell with the
right.
black
I know which one
marking.
you're talking about. I could see how that could be a good fit.
When they're in the
Yeah.
water and they're kind of like that pale color,
Yeah,
with the black markings.
yeah, that almost look like seeds in a watermelon. Yeah.
I don't know if they look like seeds. I feel like they look like the striping on a watermelon.
Oh yeah, but then aren't there some little speckles that go with it occasionally? But anyway,
I'm not sure. I don't think
know.
there is.
It's been a little while since I put my face on one of those.
Literally touch your face to the turtle to become one with the turtle.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I might go with I don't know how big here. I was thinking one of the medium-sized tortoises, maybe like a leopard or something like that.
Mm.
Big enough that they really, catch people's attention, but not so big like an Aldabra or a Galap or even a Sulcata, where you need to provide so much outdoor space for it, during most of the year.
Right.
Like a leopard, you could roam outside in the summer, bring it into the garage in the winter if you're up north, So I was thinking something along maybe those those lines.
That's a great answer. They really are terrific. There's a reason they're so popular. It's not just because they're relatively easy to breed, but man, are those things cool. And
Yeah.
they just do well in captivity.
Yeah, and the shell patterns can be really ornate at times and even really plain at times, depending on what your preference is. So
I have had a lot of different species come through here and keep a lot of different species. And my wife loves the leopard tortoises. That's her favorite, just based on the, how beautiful they are and their personalities and the fact that, there's not usually that much heartbreak associated with them. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But okay, so how about best species to keep based on ease of keeping? Kind of what we were talking about with the leopard.
I think pretty much any musk species, whether it's Sternotheris or even like Claudius, is ridiculous. They don't do anything. Just super easy to keep. Yeah, that's it for me. Not
Cool.
a specific turtle, but
I'll take it. Good. Ease of keeping, Stephen with a PH.
I had so one of the reasons I didn't mention this one for the last question is because I was going to use them here. I think the redfoot tortoise, very omnivorous diet for a tortoise. I mean, as long as you can keep it humid, which most people don't really necessarily struggle with, they're pretty happy animals. I think you don't need a ton of light since they're, tropical forest type tortoises overall. They'll eat worms, they'll eat fruit, they'll eat bugs, they'll eat pellets, they'll eat anything. And they're really personable, so people love them as pets.
You made a good argument. When you first said it, I said, oh no, that was a bad idea. Because they need the humidity, and maybe that's just because we're up here in the cold north. But
yeah, you tried to talk me out of it like 4 times.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
And maybe that's like here in Lancaster County, like humidity is not a problem most of the year.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania has so many streams that, it gets a little dry in the winter at times, but generally speaking, we don't struggle for humidity here.
Cool.
So,
there you go. Kev, when he said it, did you think, Anthony's going to say something?
About
the humidity.
That I was going to give him a hard time?
No. Oh, yeah. I mean, first, I apologize. Yes. That is what I thought. Sorry, I'm out of it.
You're thinking of your next answer. I know.
No, it's just been a long day, man.
Because I didn't even have another answer queued up here. But ease of keeping, I would say. Now, I have not bred them, but as far as raising species, I've never had. Oh man, this is tough. Two part answer. spider tortoises and Egyptian tortoises, knock on wood. I have had a very enjoyable time. Look at Kevin texting right on the screen.
I gotta take care of stuff. I'm listening though. I
I'm
promise.
getting after it. I love it. I'm not feeling listened to, but that's okay. Egyptians and spider tortoises I've had very good luck with, knock on wood again, as far as raising them and having them be generally very healthy. And as far as the requirements it takes to care for them, I don't think that they're that challenging. I think it's pretty straightforward. Both can do really well with colder, drier situations in the winter. They can handle humidity. They can brumate, especially the spider tortoises, and go down for a long time. It really made me pull my hair out when I first had them, which is why I'm now bald. But I had lots of hair when I started with them. But you learn afterwards that's just the way they are naturally, and it's okay. Yeah, and it's a pretty good thing. So those have been pretty good and pretty easy, and they're small. So again, that's another part of the answer. But because of that, it makes them really manageable. You don't need a lot of space. You don't need a lot of heat. You don't need a lot of anything, really. They don't eat much. It's great. So ease of keeping is definitely a part of their whole story. So switch gears to something that Steve knows way more about than either Kevin or I, but Kevin and myself will do our best to keep up. So best conservation species based on need. What species do you think needs it the most?
Honestly, probably any of these species that they're getting caught so heavily right now, like illegal smuggling, radiateds. I can't think of the name. It's like an Indian flap shell.
Indian flap shell, listen.
Yeah. They're being taken by the tens of thousands now. It's insane. I just saw something. And thing is, for me, it's not necessarily these all the animals that there's a little bit of now, sure. But even some animals that we know we have good quantities of in the world, protecting them while we are here, while it's not so futile for a lot of them, you know?
Right. Sure. Good answer. I'll allow it.
Thanks.
Steve, enlighten us.
And this is a
You're talented.
there's so many avenues you could go down with.
You know what's going on, so you have to pick one. You have to be Skip Bayless. I want your hot take.
Oh man.
This is in this weird parallel universe. We have all the resources we can put into one species. We can have one turtle be the giant panda. Which one is it? And everything else we have to let fend for itself.
If you want a species that you could turn into the giant panda, that's a freshwater species or a tortoise. I might actually go with the radiated because of its eye-catching shell that most people would grab onto. I think the general person sees that and go, dang, that's pretty, you know? Mm-hmm. There's obviously a great argument. Well, I'll let you guys pick your species, and then I have some other things I'd like to say on need here. Okay.
I would like to cast my vote for Rapidus swinhoe because there's only a handful. How many are left? 4 now. We found a fourth. There was a fourth, and then it died, and then there's a fourth again. Is that what happened? I try to keep up on it.
Recently, I don't remember the history before that.
I know there's a fourth now. So basically, this species is at the brink of extinction. It's the Red River giant softshell or Yangtze giant softshell turtle, and yeah, we've talked about them before on the show. They lay a ton of eggs. The female that is in a zoo has laid a ton of eggs, and they have not been fertilized. The animals are thought to be super duper old, and they were basically wiped out completely. And I think that there's an opportunity if you can get some of these eggs to be fertilized, then you can kind of like with what happened with Badager Basca, that just a few clutches and now things have totally changed for the future, right. Potentially. So I think that I think that is a great species, given that there's only literally less than a handful left.
Yeah, right. And that's, need. I think your first thought when you hear the word, need, you think of the species with the least amount of animals left, which toss out to our friends, African Colonial Institute, an African native Cyclonorbis elegans. Heck, they're not even sure if there is any in the wild. They're looking for them.
They did find one. They did find one, didn't they?
I think so. Our dear friend Kevin would be able to mention that for us, confirm that for us, since he is involved a lot with the African stuff.
He wrote on there saying no clue if it's actually still living.
Yeah. So that's and then you've got species like Marimys anamensis and Marimys nigricans that are functionally extinct in the wild, and Cora McCordy, that they've been just poached so much that there's so few left. And like you mentioned, Raphitis, they've tried 3 different artificial insemination techniques so far. I'll hear more in August probably from Gerald Cookling about what they've tried since. You've got the Western swamp tortoise from Australia that he's practically single-handedly saved since the 80s. They've more doubled or tripled or more than that in population since the 80s, thanks to his work. The plowshares and the radiateds in Madagascar, we've seen recently how many thousands of those get taken. Need. Whew.
That's complicated. I know it gets even worse with the next subgroups. How about based on cost?
Let's throw out a curveball there. Just to throw it out there. There's a species that's far more common where it's not supposed to be than where it is supposed to be.
Tigers.
What was that?
Tigers.
Red ears.
Yeah. You could argue the red ears should be more populous in their native area than they currently are. Right? But obviously nobody's ever going to they need conservation because they're everywhere, except where they're supposed to be. I mean, they're still there, but probably not in the numbers they used to be, right?
Now, what's your thought on combating them being, introduced to places, or removing them?
That's a rabbit hole. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a big rabbit. So let's just hit on that really quickly. So in Pennsylvania, when we're doing our field work with wood turtles in the wild, if we come across a red-eared slider during our field work, we're required by law to remove it and either find it a home or euthanize it. So, every state's got their way of handling these things. There's the Murray River turtle, where quite a large portion of them have now been wiped out by disease recently. I could probably spend the next 20 minutes talking about need of conservation. And so we're already going to probably have enough of these left to do another show of this. So let's just keep going before I ramble too long.
So I got a little it got a little complicated with a couple of these. So based on cost, this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, and that I have to remind myself of, and it's that conservation is complicated and that there's so much that goes into it. So the thought is just well, let's breed it and then there'll be more and we can release them. It'll be great. But there's so many different moving parts to that, including poachers. You talked about Cora McCordy. I don't think one's been found in the wild since 2007 or something like that. If you release them into the wild, what do you think is going to happen? They're worth money, obviously. So especially if they're coming out of the wild, someone would think that they got a wild caught one, which is worth, exponentially more than an animal that's born in captivity in Asia. So the cost that it would take to actually protect them, I think, is involved here as well. So cost is really complicated, and practicality as well. But is there anything that sticks out as opposed to just what animal needs it, but what do you think is a conservation project that could be done that isn't being done because of bureaucratic red tape or other reasons? What's
When I
what's
saw
a really
that-
good low hanging fruit? What's a good low hanging fruit species?
Well, so when I saw best conservation species based on cost, I was thinking slightly differently than I was when I saw that you sent that. I was like, oh, which species can we get the best bang for our buck saving? It's kind of
Yeah,
like,
that's a great way. Yeah, that's even better. Sure. Do you have a thought on that?
and like, in some ways, it's easier to remove species from this list, like the money that we spent trying to save Raphidas, looking for them, trying to artificially inseminate them, etc. Maybe that's not money well spent. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that's like 100% the truth, but it's like if you're looking for best bang for the buck, that's something you have to think about. Like, is there a species that is maybe borderline, but if we spend a little bit, we can make sure they don't end up needing more later? Like,
Yeah, that's a great point.
A lot of species that could fit into that category.
Yeah, like almost everything.
Right. And then there are species that are, I think you could argue maybe that the Burmese star tortoise and like the radiated tortoise, because of how well they reproduce, that they might be good value conservation species because they are such prolific breeders in captivity. And so basically we need to find a way to protect the land. And then I think we're good. You know what I mean? Like I think if we could find a way to protect the land the radiateds live on from poachers, like, we're good, right? So, yeah, and then
That's a good point.
And then there's also, just which are literally the cheapest as opposed to necessarily the most value to conserve. And I'm not really sure where we go with that, but it's hard to gauge cost of conservation, especially when you're talking about different countries, different values, even different states with different species, and cutting red tape to go get something done.
Right. I think that's what really is what I was trying to say when I was leading into it. Is like, this is really difficult to answer because there is red tape. There's weird intricacies to every situation where some animals you put back in the wild, they're just going to get poached immediately. Some might not get poached as quickly. So there's just a lot that goes into it that us career conservationists are not going to be able to wrap our head around necessarily. But I think it's interesting to talk about. And that's why I love having actual, people that are out in the field come on and talk with us about their thoughts on the matter, because there's always a lot of, there's many layers to kind of peel back to start to really understand like everything that goes into these decisions. So cool. Let's go on to the next question, which is best herp related field to get into based on earnings.
Herp vet.
Okay. Now, as someone who works for a veterinary company, I can tell you that if a vet's listening to this, they probably laugh, especially if it's a new vet, because with the way student loans are now,
Truth.
it's a tough racket. I know a lot of veterinarians that are like living in apartments or living with their parents. It's crazy. It takes a lot of time to.
I was taking this long-term view of that. I think
yes, long-term, sure.
That has a higher peak than somebody who works in field ecology most of their career.
Right.
It
makes sense. Good answer though. Kev, you got anything in mind?
Yeah. People that do it for education on like television shows, things like that.
Oh, there you go.
By
so
the way,
all you kids out there.
My secondary answer before I blurted out vet was be Jared.
Oh, I like that one. Jared Siakowski. Shout
Produced
out.
the world's largest amount of albino turtles.
Seriously.
He's the best. My answer was going to be don't get into a herp related career and just get rich and then do herps on the side.
Yeah.
By do herps is not as gross as it sounds. That's not a sexual thing. I mean, play with reptiles.
Do herpes.
Right. Don't do herpes on the side. Everyone should avoid that if possible.
Did you guys know there was like a marketing ploy years and years and years ago that made like herpes as scary as it is to people.
What are you trying to say? You have herpes and you don't want us to make fun of you?
Not at all. No.
Is that what you just said?
No, I just watched that show, Adam Ruins Everything, and there was a whole bit on it. It was pretty interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. The more you know. That was a star. That was a shooting star. Okay. How about the best herp-related field to get into based on adventures?
See, I think that's where the conservation of turtles and tortoises or lizards or whatever, or frogs. I think the field conservation is where your adventures are found. Like going into the jungles of the Amazon or over to Madagascar and camping out in the Madagascar forest for 50 days and 50 nights, like our friend Josh Lucas from Oklahoma City Zoo and TSA did recently. And Matt Patterson, our good friend, also went and joined him for a couple weeks of that. I think that's where the adventure is for sure.
That's great. You got one, Kev?
Same answer as before. You know, you're on TV. They're sending you to all these places. You're not paying for it. You're
Kevin,
doing cool stuff.
Of course, the video guy wants to be all about the TV stuff. Perfect. Okay.
I'm still trying to get our show on the spot.
Yeah, kids, if you're out there, just keep making those YouTube videos, and eventually you could end up being Jeff Corwin.
Dude, you got to be surprised. There's people on YouTube that make triple what the three of us make combined based off people just watching their stuff.
Yeah. I know, but how many of them are reptile people? Not many.
None.
There are reptile people that make a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
Related to the herp side conversation, our friend Angela said viral marketing, literally.
Did she say viral or vile?
Viral, like a virus.
Yeah, right. Literally.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
That's spectacular. What's next, friend? What's next?
I didn't answer one for adventures. Oh. My answer would be get rich somewhere else and then pay to go to wherever you want.
So you're suggesting be Eric Good.
Ooh, very good. Make your impact in the world somewhere else, and then turn yourself into a turtle conservationist.
He's a medical doctor, I think a surgeon of some kind.
I love that. Yeah, but that's one of the things that we talked about forever. Like, there's a place for everyone. If you have skills, interest, talent, and a decent head on your shoulders, you can get involved in some way.
Totally.
You can. It just takes a little bit of stick-to-itiveness and creativity, and yeah, of course.
Here's the thing. If you've got the money, we'll take your money and then take you along with us and teach you along the way. Like,
that's true. That's a good point.
Like,
and what about if you don't have the money, Steve? Not everyone listening to this podcast has the money.
It's true. I'm just saying, like, that's the one, like, you want to work in herps, but you don't want to be poor. I was just trying to continue off of your,
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Rich kind of thing. Like you don't want to, like, say, oh, well, but I don't have the money, so you want to take, well, but it's like, you as a conservationist or a nonprofit, right? You need those people to back your organization. And if they've always dreamed about getting involved with this stuff, like, you make that connection and then you both benefit from it, And I think that's what I'm trying to say there is, if you've got the money, for sure, like, there's a way you can help and actually go do it yourself as opposed to just giving the money, because they'll want to get you involved, because the more you get involved and learn about it, whether you have money or not, the better you are as a resource in conservation to connect to other people and continue to educate or bring other funding in or whatever kind of niche you can play.
I love it. Awesome. The questions get better now, and I think we can go a little more rapid fire.
All right.
Famous last words, because then we'll go down rabbit holes and go on tangents, turtle tangents, and digress and all the rest of it. However, question number 4, most impressive species based on, first part, camouflage. Ready? Go.
Mata.
Oh, you always steal mine. Mata. Perfect. Yeah,
Different
talk
answer
about
then.
it. What's a mata mata? What's the matter with you? I've never heard of that before.
A mata mata is a South American river turtle. Just South America, right? Not Central America.
Correct.
Yeah. And it looks like a leaf. Its coloring can be anywhere from brown to orange to red to yellow. It blends in amazingly where it's at. It has a really unique face. It's probably the only turtle that doesn't look like a turtle.
Its head shaped like a
face-wise.
triangle.
Yeah, it's weird.
A
And,
triangle with its snout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has a really, really cool eating mechanism where it opens its mouth so fast that it creates a vacuum and kind of sucks things in that are nearby. So instead of it having to like go after something, he waits and just gets it that way.
Wonderful answer. Steven?
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the eastern box turtle in fall.
Oh, I like that. Perfect.
Time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, with those orange and yellow leaves, man, you cannot find those box turtles in the fall.
My answer was going to be star tortoises. If it's interesting, and I think the box turtle is the same thing. So if you put on a plain background and take a photo of an eastern box turtle or a star tortoise, either Burmese or Indian star tortoise, you're amazed by how beautiful they are, how intricate yet high contrast their markings are, and you think, man, that thing would stick out like a sore thumb. But when you actually see one out in wild, naturalistic places, I've never seen I've never seen a star tortoise in the wild, but I've seen them outside in tall grass and things of that nature. And the box turtle among leaves, like Steve mentioned, and they just disappear. It's absolutely amazing. It really is. You don't realize that, like a star tortoise, when the grass in front of you in the foreground is like crossing like this, and then there's the darker shadow underneath. They just blend right in. It's amazing. So yeah, pretty cool.
I was just also, you just made me think of just how many times out in the field it's been like, oh, it's just a leaf next to a rock. It's not a wood turtle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like they just blend so well with their natural surroundings that they can be hard to spot at times.
Okay. Now, how about most impressive turtle species based on their unique design?
Unique design.
And you already used Mathematic, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't.
I'm aware.
You don't have to start though. You have the tough
Yeah,
job of having to start every time.
Unique design.
I can start with
Now,
one.
Let me ask you a question. Is this unique design based on like their shape, or unique design of something about them
Yes.
that they could do?
Yes, to both, or either,
Okay.
or anything else. Like, there's no right or wrong answers. I just might yell at you if I think you're coming up with something dumb.
Okay.
Oh, I'll throw one
I don't
at
want to
you.
go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. That's fine. The fly river turtle or pig-nosed turtle, Coretta insculpta, which is the only freshwater turtle with flippers, man. It's a freshwater turtle with flippers. When I first saw that those things existed, I just about peed my pants. I'm telling you, what's cooler than that?
No, it's
amazing.
pretty good.
It's amazing. They swim like they're just like sea turtles, but they're in fresh water. It's amazing. And then on top of it, they have cool, cute sloth faces. It's insane.
Really hard to breed in captivity.
Yeah. Have you tried? You speak from experience?
No, from everything that I've spoken about as far as their diapause and how they essentially need to like fall into water because of the way the wet season works there with the breeding.
Yeah. Everyone's seen that David Attenborough clip where he drops the egg into water and it hatches.
Mm-hmm.
Matamatas are very tough to breed in captivity too, which you mentioned.
Yeah. Do you ever hear anything about the zoo if they got any luck?
They've gotten luck getting fertile eggs, but they, as far as I know, they have not hatched them. That would be a big deal for them.
What was the guy's name? Matchbox 20?
Oh yeah, Rob Thomas.
Yeah, Yeah,
That's the
Rob
name of the
Thompson,
Matchbox 20 lead singer, right?
yeah, that was the name of the guy that helped us
Yeah.
with the Spot Turtle project. We
Yeah,
gotta reach back out
he's a
to him.
great guy. I've talked to him since then a few times, and I've
Okay.
actually gone in the office to talk to him to try to help him with the Matamata eggs.
Okay.
But at the same time, what do I know, right? I
Yeah.
haven't hatched them, so.
He tried. I know they tried leaving them in the ground last time.
Yeah, which I think is why they ultimately didn't hatch, because I don't think that was a good spot where they were like inside.
Yeah, they also have a large caiman playing around there all day.
Yeah, I think that they drowned the eggs too, because they tried to wet them, and then there's really not any way for the soil to drain.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think they need to pull them out. They're getting fertile eggs. Just get them at the right time and hatch them.
Watch for
All right, guys. Based on design, let's go.
All right.
What do you got?
I'm going to my go-to, which I pulled back from the second answer before. It was a Diamondback because of its lacrimal salt gland. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
This is a different Diamondback, or you went back to Diamondbacks?
No, just Diamondbacks in general. They have the ability to like secrete salt out of their inside their eyes here.
Yeah.
So they live in a brackish environment and they need fresh water, but they don't always have access to it. So they can drink a certain amount of brackish water and essentially pull the salt out of it.
I love it. I like a marine iguana.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Steve, does maps in general have that at all?
Have what?
Have the lacrimal salt gland?
I'm not sure. It's not something I really.
They're
Why
closely
would they?
related, so.
They don't live in brackish water though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it could be a vestigial trait.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have not looked into that.
Okay.
Not something I thought about.
Question for next time. Leave it in the parking lot under the
Yeah.
how about category.
Oh.
Do you have an answer, Steve, or are we moving on?
I've bounced around. I thought about Pincture tecta a little bit.
Ooh, I like that. Let's talk about them.
Unique carapace kind of shape. Of course, the pancake tortoise, the way it can like flex and fit in rock crevices and stuff. I think that's a pretty unique design.
Yeah, it can lock itself in.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
Okay. Pulling up the next question.
Habitat
How about-
usage.
I think we touched it. Let's go to most beautiful species based on overall coloration.
You're killing me, man.
I
would
put Steve
totally
to
answer
sleep.
this differently every day of the week for 360 days.
Right?
Okay, it's silent, so I'm going to say Cor pictorata.
Thank
Throwing
you.
it out there.
Thank you. Okay, Cora pictorata. Tell me about Cora pictorata.
What about its beautiful coloration?
Yeah, what is it? If I don't know scientific names, I'm Googling right now.
Yeah, so what's me and my scientific names.
Yeah.
One of the flowerback box turtles. I think pictorata is what the southern.
Yeah. What
southern
makes it
variety.
what makes it more beautiful than the other flowerbacks? What makes it more beautiful than the other Cora, the other Asian box turtles?
The ones I've seen in person, like, it really caught my attention. There was one in particular I saw at Tennessee Aquarium the first time I was there off exhibit that was just absolutely stunning. And so I decided to just blurt that one out here now because I thought about that picture.
Okay.
Which, if you want, I can give me a little while. I could probably pull up that picture of that animal. Well, you guys talk about yours.
I love it. Perfect.
Well,
Kev, do you have one?
I do. It's one that I've recently been introduced to keeping that I'm in love with. When I get to go outside and watch them is three-toed box turtles.
That's the most beautiful turtle to you? It's an opinion.
There's some that the skin. I have one that looks like he's like a tiger.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. My buddy Matt Healy, he watches this from time to time. He's the one who sent me them. The ones that he has, it's like mind blowing that these things weren't like poached or whatnot. It's just insane.
That's awesome. I love it. I would probably say this is tough too, right? Again, you get a different answer for every day of the year. I would say, what is the scientific name of the red-crowned roof turtle? Batagar kachuga.
Yes, Batagar Kashuga.
That, for anyone who doesn't know
It's a great
that
turtle.
species, that species is so handsome.
Mhm.
I just can't even handle myself. It's that handsome. It's like seeing a young George Clooney in person. You just start to sweat. You don't know why. You want to say hi to it. You don't know how to start the conversation. It is that beautiful of a turtle. I'm just saying. Did I just become that guy?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna drop a picture of this on the screen for everybody.
Steve has a photo coming, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that means. Here it comes.
Batagar Kashuga.
Good. Oh, that's the species I was talking about. Thank you. I thought we were going to see
Well, I can do that too, but I was like, this is a great picture too.
I think I said red crown river turtle, but red crown roof turtle, Batagar kachuga. And I'm like, it's not necessarily a species I'm into that I read about a lot. There's not much written on them. The TSA will often have, updates about the work that they're doing with them in Asia, which is awesome. And I always love seeing the photos. Yeah, just an amazing turtle.
Yeah,
it's like it's fake.
The male inbreeding color for everybody out there listening. So just like all the rest of the Batagar, its head will change color a little bit, during breeding season.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Really great turtles.
There you go. I can't tell you how they act. I've never seen one in person. So when I was saying all that stuff about sweating and not knowing how to start a conversation with it, I was making that up. So, most beautiful species based on... Oh, there you go. There's a pictorata.
There's the head of that Cora pictorata.
There you go.
I just remember
Pictorata head.
seeing it. It was just like, whoa,
Yeah, they are beautiful.
So are Galbanifrons and Beretti too, but
yeah, all the flower backs
right at that moment,
They look like their shells are carved out of a rich mahogany. How about most beautiful species based on their faces? Anyone?
Batagar Kashuga.
I came up with a good one. You agree? Yay!
It was on the list of ones I was looking at for uniqueness too.
I think for me, it's just baby tortoises in general. I'm not going to pick a species, but spider tortoises are little grumpy faces, and species like testudo, species within the testudo genus just are incredible when they're young. They're amazing animals anyway, but they're just incredible when they're young. And there's no turtle that I could bring home or hatch that my wife will ever love as much as a hatchling tortoise. And I use her opinion all the time because she's not a turtle person necessarily, but is sharing life with a turtle person. So she experiences all this stuff through me. So her opinion always is really important to me because she sees it through a different lens, obviously.
There's my choice for face.
Oh, cool. Color-wise.
The eyes and everything, just like...
We should just let people tell us in the comments what species that is.
See how many actually know?
Kev, do you know what it is?
Well, it's a rhinoclamys.
Nice.
Melanostera? I don't know how to say it.
Nice. Melanosterna.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Melano, yeah.
That's like blue-eyed wood turtle?
Yeah. Yeah, they go by a couple different common names.
Awesome.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Over the course of the past 2 years, I think I've improved significantly on my classification.
I thought I didn't ask you because no one will believe this because I'm always such a jerk to you on the show, but I asked you because I thought you could answer it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for throwing me a softball.
No, I don't think it's a softball for anyone. I have a really, really good friend who is super knowledgeable and is a turtle guy and has a degree in like wildlife management or something like that. Like he's a big time animal guy and is a turtle guy. That's his favorite type of animal, and reads about them just as much as you and I do. But he texted me a picture of a Melanosterno like 3 months ago and said, "What is this?" Like, because he was so excited. He was researching some kind of South American turtle, and that came up. And he was like absolutely taken by its beauty and just sent it to me, like, tell me about this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great species. Sorry, I'm looking down at my phone so I can see what's next.
I'm trying to find a photo, but I'm coming up short.
This question I really liked.
Oh,
Okay.
I actually have an answer for the
did you not answer?
face.
I'm sorry, because we got into
No.
Melanosterno with you.
Yeah.
That was Steve's answer. I apologize.
It's okay. Red
Please.
cheek mud turtle.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Oh
boy. Here we go.
Second here.
Here we go. You want us to keep talking while you go down?
Well, talk about mud turtles.
Talk about mud turtles. So mud turtles, they live in mud, and they're turtles. What else you got? Canocernids are really cool. Great. Is
Voti?
Vokti, like Dick Vogt.
Vokti?
Yep.
That's not a red cheek.
No, but like it made me think of this new species and the bright yellow on its head.
Yep.
And how small.
Cool animal. So what's crazy is they just like, back in May of last year is when they said they had found them, but within days, like people already had them in Europe. So like people had them, they just weren't described.
Yeah. Well, people know sometimes. They know what's out there. They know that there's something different.
Well, and that species is very, very tiny. They're jokingly, some of the other people in the TFTSG are jokingly calling it the pocket turtle.
Okay. That's cool. So even among mud turtles, they're super small.
They are. They're extremely small.
So the next part of this question I really like. What is the turtle that is the most prototypical turtle? So I think about our logo, which when you see it is, okay, that's a turtle. Great. And I don't know if everyone knows what our logo is, but we created the logo, so we know what it was. And then I think of Jerry West, who is the logo for the NBA. It's him dribbling, right? So if you were making that type of logo or the Turtle Room logo or what have you, what is the most prototypical, like, that's a turtle? Right? It's not a Matamata. It's not a Fly River turtle. It's not an alligator snapping turtle. Those are all very obviously turtles. They have shells. But what is the prototypical turtle and why?
By the way, here's why we're calling them the pocket turtle. That's a full-grown turtle.
Yeah.
Whose hand is that, though? Is that Kristaps?
I have another comparison with it next to a pen.
Is that Kristaps Porzingis?
Definitely not.
7'3", Dallas Mavericks? No. Could be something like that. I'm just saying. I know Kristaps' hand when I see it.
Next to a typical pen.
I think it looks bigger there than it does in the hand.
I hate to burst your bubble, but that turtle's dead.
That one is a dead turtle that they found. Yes.
I'm sorry, everyone. That's a dead turtle. Have you ever seen the pictures online where it's like a dog with a turtle, like a screaming turtle on top of the dog's head? Everyone gets real excited about it, but it's a taxidermy dead turtle.
Yeah.
And there's always like 2,000 comments before someone actually chimes in. It was me one time. Chimes in and says, that's a dead turtle. It's not actually a turtle riding on a dog's head. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Well, naming a new species, it's still one of the things we have to do. You have to take a couple specimens to become the type specimens and to do research with too. So it's part of the, just part of the naming of a species these days too.
So, most prototypical turtle.
I feel like the people in my area, at least to this demographic in this area, the box turtle is their prototypical turtle.
Yeah, it's that makes sense. Nice dome shell.
Right. And I think you get to the New Jersey coast and people go terrapin.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of box turtles there
prototypical
too.
turtle.
Yeah.
What was that, Kevin?
There's a lot of eastern boxes over there too, though.
There are. Well, if you got right to the New Jersey coast, like
Yeah.
if you're talking about people who spend time spend their summers at the beach, they'd probably say the Diamondback terrapin.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
know,
mean,
yeah.
driving to Chris's house, within the 5 miles before I got to his house, we passed 3 box turtles in the street.
Yeah.
I've never seen that many in my state my entire life, in the streets.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right answer is, but you're 100% correct, and you just nailed it for all of us. It's like it depends who you are, what your experience is. People who grew up buying turtles in the dime store maybe think red ear sliders are, but it makes sense. Box turtles have a large range.
Red-eared sliders are iconic for a lot of people, from being in the pet store, from being in the Rocky movies, from
Puff and Link. Oh. Sorry, that was my Rocky. Oh, Adrian.
Steve,
Yeah.
I just tossed a picture over. I don't know if you could put it up for a second. I just sent it to I texted you actually, so I don't know if you can do that.
Oh, it'll need to be email for me to get it up that quickly.
Yeah,
we can just talk about this on the air. It's not a big deal. It's not awkward.
I don't think it's awkward at all.
People
No.
love it.
People love it. They want to see behind the scenes. I'm gonna go do some. I'm gonna go do some dishes after this. If anyone wants to watch, we can just leave it rolling.
This is based on why I said three toads are when I think of the most beautiful turtles. Sorry, it's a little dated. I know we're going back.
Why is that dated?
Because it was like 10 minutes ago.
This
is not a long show, man. That's like
reminds me of an Eastern we found during our preliminary work.
It's forever ago.
Wood turtle stuff.
Oh. So the photo you're saying is going back to
no, just us talking about it. But yeah, the photos this past summer.
Are you using them as your answer for prototypical turtle?
No. My prototypical turtle here is the common snapping turtle.
Oh, okay, I like that. Okay, not bad. You're right.
I see way more of them walking around than any other turtle.
That's fair. I think that's fair. People talk about them all the time. Large range as well.
And everybody thinks every turtle's a snapping turtle.
That's true. They really do. Is that a snapper?
There are 3 types of turtles: red-eared sliders, box turtles, and snapping turtles.
That's it. And sun turtles.
Yeah.
That's any turtle that basks is called a sun turtle. Yeah, interesting. I would say I don't know what the right answer is, and we've already talked about it enough, but I would just say that since I talked about it, the turtle in our logo for the Turtle Room logo was based on a Cora amboinensis, and the small baby turtle is a Cora mccordi. And I just picked them because I just wanted photos of turtles that looked like they were the right shape that I wanted. So that's what they were based on. And the bigger turtle actually had its mouth open at first, but Steve said no. He didn't like that.
I liked it. I just didn't think it was necessarily the look that would become iconic.
He hated it, and he told me that I needed to change it or we wouldn't be friends anymore. I'll talk about turtles with someone else, Anthony.
Funny part is I don't know that I've ever given that ultimatum to anyone.
Well, you gave it to me, so what does that say? You were really angry that time.
How long did the two of you guys talk online before you made your romance palpable in person?
Before
actually that long, we went to a Hamburg show.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I thought his name was Reed at first because his name on the turtle forum was Reedbird because Redbird was already taken. I think something like that.
It was when I created my screen name for AOL.
That's what it was.
Years before, and I used the same name then on Turtle Forum because that was just kind of my online identity.
So I'm like, oh yeah, what's up, Reed? He's like, no, actually, it's Steve. I think that's how we met.
Yeah, probably.
Because we had talked all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just through that forum. Pretty crazy.
Captain Spaulding.
Yeah, my name was Captain Spaulding after the clown. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, that was a few years ago, right when those movies were new. Okay. So we can finish this out. We're going to do this, okay? We don't have to spend a lot of time on these, but we can finish these out. What is the best turtle tool to buy? All right, this is a hot take, ladies and gentlemen. These are
A siphon.
Okay, a siphon. Done. Perfect for turtle keeping, a siphon. Now, these don't have to be based on fieldwork or keeping or anything, just a turtle-based tool. Steve, go.
Tree calipers.
Tree calipers. They're called tree calipers because they
The
grow?
ones we use out, the bigger ones that we have using out in the field with wood turtles and stuff, they're tree calipers technically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're really handy. A lot better than than normal calipers.
Awesome. I was going to say calipers, so let me pick another one. I would say, so based on, well, I did break these up, keeping in field work, but then we just put them together and whatever. That's fine. So we just gave one of each. I would say microchips and a microchip reader. I think that's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna, you're still breaking it up. I was also gonna throw Right in the Rain paper out there for field work.
Right in the Rain paper. That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff.
Who knew? I didn't even know that existed. Where did Kevin go?
I'm right here. I'm looking for something.
And we're looking at his ceiling. It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's not awkward.
All right,
I'm not
what's
the only
that?
person.
Are you pulling something out that you want to show us? Or are you itching?
Yeah, don't worry about it yet. Don't worry about it yet.
Talk amongst ourselves until
We're good.
you.
Yeah, no, we're
you
good.
show us?
Sorry, I'm back. I already gave my answer for a turtle tool. Did we move on?
Yeah. All right.
What was your answer?
My answer was pit tags, microchips,
that's
and
right,
microchip
yes.
reader. Yeah, you were
That's
here
right.
for that.
I was. I'm sorry.
All right.
I was.
And I was going to say
focused.
usefulness in documentation too. We went through that one really fast though. We hit on everything I wanted to, but we didn't come up with 3 answers for each, which is fine. So
Useless
then,
documentation would be the digital colonial log.
oh, you are so
inside
sweet.
plug.
You are so sweet. We didn't even pay him to do that.
Dude, I was suggesting it to people today, actually. Also,
it is great.
Yeah.
Love it. The digital Colonian log, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You can list up to 25 animals for free, keep track of their growth, share your data with other people.
Hey, actually, Steve, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
This was asked of me today when I was talking about it. If somebody inputs their animals and what they have in the site, okay?
Yeah.
How private is that? Like, can you see it?
So there's a checkbox when they're creating a new turtle, and it basically says public with a question mark. If they check it, the animal will be publicly viewable to anybody on the app, but their name won't be attached to it. It'll just have a random user ID. Okay.
Okay.
If they don't check that box, then they and the admins are the only one that can view that animal.
Okay, so the admin can also.
Right, because we need to, like, one of the things we want to make sure there's integrity of data. So there are occasionally times where we need to go help somebody fix a mistake or whatever. So we've had a couple cases where that comes, so I get into the database back end and go fix it and things like that. So
let me get this straight. You built a database that is better than what some of the zoos use. And it's free to the general public for up to 25 animals for them to keep data on their animals?
That is correct.
And
are you sure you work at a vet's office?
I do. That is correct. Yes. That was a question for me, I presume.
And the co-creator, or maybe even lead creator, even if you make the turtle public, only basic data is publicly available, like the size, how old it is, the species, and things like that. But a lot of other information is still private.
Like, give me an example of something that would be private in that instance.
Your
tracking that's been done, how many eggs it's laid, things along those lines.
Gotcha. Okay.
So cool. I think so many people probably don't even know that this exists still. That's our fault.
We need to do a better job of marketing that, but I'm working on that.
Yeah. Awesome. So last category, last question. Question number 7. Hold on. Are you trying to say something to me, Kev? No.
No.
Okay. Best turtle book.
Let's keep these 3 separate still.
Yes, I want to as well. So the 3 categories first are beginners, best turtle book for beginners. Like, hey, I'm getting started. What book do I need? Best turtle book for reference. So the one that you should have around always, that everyone should have for reference, and best turtle book for collectors. This is going to be difficult because I know.
Hold on. Let's define collectors. Turtle collectors or turtle book collectors?
Either.
Okay.
So I think I was thinking more along the lines of like books that you'd want to get, that you tell someone, like maybe they don't really know if they need it or not, but this is a good book for people to have.
Okay.
He's looking at his bookshelf.
That's what I was doing before. I was preemptively getting my books.
Oh, that's what it was? Oh, you wanted to actually show us.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's going to give us the I'm happy that we're starting with beginners too.
Yeah, let's start with that one. You go.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Oh, do you want to go first, Kev?
I was going to say that I actually, unfortunately, and it's hopefully not why I made mistakes when I was younger, I've never had a beginner's book on turtles because I grew up keeping painteds and we just knew how to do it. From, I don't know, I was like 6.
Okay.
So I never had a book on beginner turtles. So I don't have an answer there. My only time I'm going to technically pass.
That's fine. I like that one. I like that pass. I would say that if you can find it and get it and you're into keeping animals, because there's obviously a difference between people who are doing work in the field and those that are keeping. Russ Gurley's book, Keeping and Breeding Freshwater Turtles, is a really, really, really good book that I think changed things for a lot of people. We did a Turtle Room World Turtle Day video. I think it was the 2014 one, when we interviewed people from the Turtle Room and just had them talk about kind of like why turtles and how they got started. And I can remember people talking about that book at that time. So I think that's a really important book. That's a book that I've read through so many times, and it's paperback, that it looks like it's been like to hell and back. It's a mess because I've read it so many times. Steve, what do you got? Best book for beginners?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That was one of them that I was thinking about.
I was hoping I didn't take your answer.
Another one, there were 2 others that popped into my head.
I like that one. I like that one too.
And I'm going to pull this one in here. All right.
Yeah.
Life in a Shell talks a lot about the physiology of a turtle, really helps you understand the inner workings of a turtle from even a non-keeping perspective. And really impressive some of the things, say, species like the Western painted turtle are able to do.
I totally agree. That was my takeaway from that book, is things that the Western painted turtle is able to do. In the fact that they've been studied so much. It's pretty cool.
Let me pull this one up. This one's written by the current chief, or I can't remember, the current chair of the TFTSG.
What's the TFTFG?
Good point. The Tortoise and Freshwater Turtle Specialist Group, the specialist group for the IUCN, International Union for the Conservation of Nature.
I love
which
that.
of which I am a member, and so is our good teammate Chris. But anyway, This book's a really good one too.
Chris, never heard of him. Chris Leone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just kidding. We talk about him every podcast. Anywho, okay.
I hear he's getting back into being in a band.
They were getting the band back together. That's right. So, Turtle Nerd getting back with his old buddies. Buddies don't always understand. Old buddies. It's like when I play basketball. They're like, you do what? Best turtle books for reference. Best ones to have on hand for reference. Kevin.
I have 2.
Okay, good. So you're making up for the... Okay.
Yeah. The Complete North American Box Turtle by Carl Franklin and David Kilpack.
Oh, Carl. I love Carl. He's a great guy.
We want to have him as a guest on this show.
do. He would be fantastic to have.
I'd love to. Speaking of the
If
books
you're
that I
still
had on
watching,
it,
we still need to get Carl on here.
what's that?
Viviana, if you're still watching, I saw your name earlier. We need to still get Carl on here.
Yes, we do. He is high on the priority list. I'd like to get Russ Gurley too. We've never had Russ on the show.
Oh,
He's
that'd be
busy. He's busy, but he's
Yeah.
a friend, and yeah, we should have him on here.
Yeah.
So
Second was this right here for any
oh, great one. Yep.
minor
That was my
things that I want to
backup.
look into.
In case Anthony
Yeah.
stole my main one.
I don't even know what I'm going to say next. That was your backup for beginners or for
That was my backup for the one he just shows my backup for reference.
reference? Well, you can go next. That's a great book, by the way. Amanda Ebenhack.
Yeah.
That was published by Russ Gurley, Living Art Publishing. Terrific stuff.
If you're doing any kind of work in captivity with North American turtles, or you just like North American turtles, one of my favorite books to just pull out when I need to is Ernst and Lovich's Turtles of the United States and Canada, 2nd edition.
That's a great one. That's the number one. That has to be the number one answer here. It has to be. So if we were making like a top 10 list and we were going to write a blog post about the 10 best reference books of all time, that is by far the best. That's not Michael Jordan over LeBron. That is like by far and away the best.
By the way, I'm kind of wondering if there will ever be a 3rd edition. I also have an idea who Jeff Lovich's co-author would be if he did a 3rd edition.
Is it you?
No.
Is it Kevin? Minto? I love your reaction. Kev, that was the meanest thing Steve ever did. With his reaction.
Which Kevin are you talking about?
Oh, got it.
Because we have 2.
Well, we have one sitting here right now. Gee.
True.
I have to use his last name. He's sitting right here.
I'm like chopped liver, man.
But
He's in the room with us.
First one was Barber and Ernst. 2nd edition is Ernst and Lovich.
Yeah.
So I think Lovich would have to do Lovich would have to go with his protege who followed him, as I would think is who he'd write the next one with if he does.
If he does. Very cool. Yeah, that's an amazing book. There's a lot in there. When a book that thick has to have pages that thin, watch out. Lots of information in there. So reference books, I would say I really, really enjoy as a reference the Terralog books.
Yeah, they're really good.
So those are by Holger Vetter, right?
Yeah.
And I thank you for showing, because again, I turned my turtle room into a playroom for anyone who missed the beginning of the show.
Volume 5 is finally out as well, by the way. That's the one that
the Australia.
covers, the Oceania area, Australia and the Indonesian islands, etc.
Pretty cool. Yeah, so the books are really good. What's interesting is there's like barely any text. It's just a lot of photos, and then there are keys on them as well. And I think, they're just really good. And they talk a lot about different locales, all the different species. The nomenclature is usually pretty current. I think they're pretty good books. I think they're really good books. So, and I find myself referencing them more and more. The first time I bought one of those, it just like sat there for a couple of years. And then now I find myself using them all the time. So pretty good for reference. Okay. Rounding out the book category. And I'm just looking at my phone again. What was the last one? Collectors. Yeah, collectors. I should have known. So
I'd like to go last here.
You would, because you're not a collector, or you have a good one?
No, I have a book that I like. I've collected.
Okay. Well, since you've collected it, then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did he steal yours?
No.
Oh gosh, I got so excited.
Les Tortues de la it's only, the funny part is it says French edition. I've never seen it in any language other than French. Which is why, but it's got some great plates in it, and even if you can't read it, it's a great collector's book for the pictures and stuff. So
that's awesome.
I'd love to find like an English translation of it so I can actually read it, but
you can use the Google Translate app now, doesn't it? Transcribe like words.
Oh, does it? Like you don't have to type it?
Like camera, yeah.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that. But see, like, I always feel like Google Translate, it's like, it's not like
It's not gonna be perfect.
spectacular job, you know.
Yeah, but if you're waiting another 20 years for an English translation, you might
Yeah.
get by.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my collector's book.
It's a good
All right.
choice. I might pull that book out and read it tonight just because you told me to.
Do you both have that book?
Yeah. Do you have it,
All right.
Stephen?
Yeah, it's on my bookshelf.
There
I
you
got
go.
it at the conference either the year we were in Tucson or the year we were in New Orleans.
I got that book for like $8.
Really?
It was
Used?
incredible.
Used?
No,
Oh wow.
I know it was incredible. Breck Bartholomew, who's a really nice guy and sells books for really cheap and singles, separates as well for really, really, really cheap. And one day he just had like a sale on certain things, and that was like, I don't know, something like 75% off. It was like insane. I got that one and Turtles of Venezuela for like $18 for both.
Yeah, that one's on my shelf too. That's a really neat book too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought that for Anthony, and he was like, for his birthday, not just as a nice gift.
You didn't buy it for me. You had it
Yeah.
already.
No, man, that one I got for you. And
What? You're
yeah,
so
and you're like,
I already
I
got it.
already have this book.
I already got it for $10.
I bought it at White Plains.
I'm a bad person.
What a jerk. You're supposed to just take that gift and be like, thanks, I didn't have this, then throw it away.
I would not do that. That's blasphemy. Once you have two books of something, then you can start vending. If you have two copies of one book, you can start vending at White Plains.
Yeah.
Now you're a bookseller.
All right.
You have one book to sell. My answer, oh boy, I would say, oh my gosh, I don't even know the name of it. Steve, help me out. It's the Agassiz book on natural history from the 1800s with the crazy awesome plates of northern red belly turtles.
Oh, Agassiz.
That's how you pronounce his name?
I think so.
I thought it was Agassiz.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't have that book.
No, that book's expensive. It's like $400 for like the 2 volumes. Like you could just get it on eBay. Like it's not even on Amazon. But it's only up there sometimes. It's on my to-do list. It's on my to-get list, but it has like amazing turtle prints. It's from the 1800s, like color turtle prints. They're like the best prints ever.
Oh yes, hold on. It's pronounced Agassi.
Oh, but there's like a ZIS at the end or something. Or
It's
SIZ.
Apassiz.
SSIZ.
Rodolphe Agassi.
Got it. There you go. That to me is the pinnacle. And there's obviously more, but the more that you get into this stuff, the more, just like animal keeping, there's always something else that's out of the budget, but is a possibility for down the line sort of thing. It's the same thing with the books.
All right, I think I'm up.
You are? Did you not say one yet?
No, I said I wanted to go last.
I should say, all right, you know what? Go ahead, just in case that this is one of them. But I was going to say that one of our viewers gave me some thoughts too, so I thought that'd be cool to share. But go ahead, please.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm not going to read the inscription because I don't want to embarrass the person.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
Read the inscription. I want you to read the inscription.
All right. You're going to be embarrassed.
I'm going to cry.
Kevin, I love you. I wanted you to have this. Kevin, I'm so excited to be working with you. Here's to decades of future collaboration. Connecticut tour guides are rare and we must stick together. Your fan, Anthony.
Oh, I love that.
And then it's double signed because it's sign and print, and then
Yeah.
over here
You
as
have
well.
to write the name and then sign the name on the other side where the name is in the book. You are so sweet, Kev. Trying to make me cry.
That was my April Fool's joke.
Oh, got it. So that now you can tell us the real collector's book.
No. This is a book I'm proud to have. I
That
will
was
say
so
this
sweet.
though, I've had it for over 2 years and I haven't read it yet.
Terrific. That sounds good. That's
Well, there's a reason why.
just what I would expect. Got it.
No, I'm very happy to have it. I haven't read it for the sole reason that I don't keep this turtle at all for the time being. Who knows in the future what may happen? But it's I have so many books about the species I do keep. I need to read that I didn't want to jump around.
So you're telling me it's not you, it's me. It's not me, it's you.
I'm sure it's a beautiful, well thought out book. I'm
Do
positive
you
it is.
see
Kevin,
how
I've
small
read
that
it
book
enough
is?
times for the both of us.
I was just gonna say, do you see how small that book is? You could one long poop and you're done. You sit on the toilet, read the book, you're done.
All right, guys, this is a commitment I'm going to make to all of you that not only by the end of this year will I have read this book, I will also turn it into an audiobook which you can download from our Facebook site.
Don't you toy with me.
It's a commitment. There's going to be voices, characters, everything.
April Fools. Oh, you're too much. I love how you made me feel all sweet and made me want to like shed a tear, and then you're like, well, I never read it though.
I have to be honest, Kevin saying he's never read it makes me actually wonder just how many times I've actually read it through the whole writing and editing and publishing process.
Oh, I know. Forget it. I had you read that thing so many times, Steve. Are you kidding me?
That was great too.
Like your part-time job reading that thing.
And creating the graphics.
Right. Yep.
Oh,
That's so funny.
Guys, we've been at this for an hour and 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
We started a little late, so yeah.
We did start late.
It's probably fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
you're telling me you want to go?
Thanks for putting up with us, everybody.
No, I just don't know if anyone's bored of us.
Yes.
Surprisingly not. We're still cruising along at about the same viewers we were an hour ago.
I love it.
Yeah.
So just some other books that weren't mentioned that were mentioned by a viewer just before we wrap it up.
Actually, our viewers, as far as books, Terralog books, and then somebody mentioned AC Highfields.
Oh yeah.
Can't remember which turtle book that is.
Keeping and Breeding. What? Practical Guide for.
Oh yeah, Practical Guide. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
But Peter, a viewer, Peter, a friend of mine, brought up Turtles for Dummies as a beginner book. The Encyclopedia of Turtles by Pritchard as a reference, and Ernst and Barber's Turtles of the World book as a collector's book.
Right.
I actually use that one as more of a reference than the encyclopedia, because that book's older. But I think it's really cool to look at those older books to see kind of how the taxonomy has changed and stuff like that.
Right. The Bonan Turtles of the World book is a great reference as well.
I use that one a lot too. Is the green cover, is that a new version or the old version? Because I have the red one. There's a green one that's out now.
Familiar. Like as far as green Turtles of the World goes, that's what I'm used to Ernst and Barber being.
There's a green bone in one though.
Is that the French version instead of the English translation?
Oh, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Right, because it was originally written in French, and then Peter Pritchard translated it.
Right.
Which
is gangster, yeah.
Kevin mentioned Morphology and Evolution of Turtles. It's based on a bunch of Gaffney's work. If you really like map turtles, a great reference is this Map Turtle and Sawback Atlas by my friend Peter Lindemann.
Hold on. Kevin mentioned what? Morphology? What? Is that a book?
Morphology and Evolution of Turtles. Yeah, Kevin Labille mentioned it.
I haven't heard of that book. When is that? Where's that from?
Came out in 2012.
2012?
I think so.
The year the world was supposed to end. Maybe that's why I didn't.
Maybe.
I was preoccupied thinking about other things.
And one of my favorite books, if you really like the adventure side of things, Tales from the Thebaid.
Oh, that's a good book.
It's basically Peter Pritchard's memoirs. Just a great read. It's a little pricey, but honestly, like I felt like I got every penny's worth out of the money I spent on that book.
That was a great read. Good stuff. Good show, guys.
You know what, Anthony?
What?
You should take one of our writers that we're collecting here and get them to target target writing a post about, or maybe even a series of Turtle Book posts.
Mm-hmm.
And we could all, apply some input, and they could formulate it, and we could send it through a editing revision process to make sure we're not missing something important.
Sounds good to me.
But I think that'd be something that'd be really valuable to have on our site.
So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for an upcoming blog written by to be determined. I'm sorry, a series of blogs to continue on this fun discussion we've had here tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. I'm trying to sign off, Steve. Take it from here.
All right. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking for us with this extra long special April Fool's episode, which only included one tiny April Fool at the very beginning.
Really bad excuse.
Very long.
That was embarrassing.
So anyway, thanks to all those new viewers that have just stumbled upon us, and we thank you for being willing to suffer with us for an hour and 40 minutes, now hour and 45. For Anthony Pierleone and Kevin Minto, I'm Steve Enders, and we're signing off, and we will see you on Monday, May 6th with episode 53 of the Pondcast. Have a good night.
Peace.